Hey explorers, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going on an amazing adventure to a place full of wonders and secrets, Yellowstone National Park. We all know about its incredible geysers like Old Faithful and the beautiful hot springs that look like rainbows. But did you know that deep beneath our feet something huge and powerful is happening? And we can see clues about it all the way from space. Imagine you have supervision, like a superhero. That's what satellites are like for scientists. They are cameras floating way up in space, taking pictures of our planet. And when they look at Yellowstone, they see something fascinating. They see the ground breathing. That's right. The ground in Yellowstone slowly rises and falls like a giant sleepy chest. Sometimes it goes up a few inches, and other times it goes down. This is called ground deformation, and it's our first big clue about what's happening underground. So, why is the ground moving? Well, deep below Yellowstone, there's a gigantic chamber filled with hot, molten rock called magma. Think of it like a massive underground pot of super hot gooey soup. This is what we call a supervolcano. Now don't worry, it's not about to erupt anytime soon. Scientists say it's very unlikely in our lifetime or even our great-great-great-grandchildren's lifetimes. But this magma chamber is what makes Yellowstone so special. The heat from this magma is what powers all the amazing geysers and hot springs. The magma heats up the rock and water above it, creating all that steam and pressure that shoots Old Faithful high into the sky. When new magma flows into the chamber from even deeper within the earth, it's like adding more soup to the pot. It pushes the ground up. And when the magma cools down or moves around, the ground can sink back down. Satellites can measure these tiny movements with amazing precision, helping scientists keep a close eye on the supervolcano's pulse. Now let's talk about those red lines of crisis you might have heard about. That sounds a bit scary, doesn't it? But what it really means are the areas that scientists are watching most closely. Using another cool satellite trick called thermal imaging, which sees heat instead of light, scientists can create a heat map of Yellowstone. On this map, the hottest areas might be colored red. These red lines show where the most heat is escaping from the ground. These hot zones are often where you find the most geysers and steaming vents. But they also show us where the ground is under the most stress. The heat and gases from the magma chamber can weaken the rock, creating cracks and fissures. Think of it like baking a cake. If it gets too hot on top too quickly, the surface can crack. The same thing happens to the Earth's crust in Yellowstone. These cracks are also known as faults. Scientists map these faults very carefully. Why? Because these are the pathways for hot water and gas to reach the surface. But sometimes, all that pressure can build up and be released suddenly. This doesn't cause a huge volcanic eruption, but it can cause something else Yellowstone is famous for: earthquakes. Yellowstone has thousands of small earthquakes every year. Most are so tiny you wouldn't even feel them, but they are another sign that the ground is active. The satellites, along with ground sensors, help track these quakes and see if they are happening along those red line fault zones. Another incredible thing satellites help us see are changes in the trees. Yes, the trees. In some areas of Yellowstone, large groups of trees have started to die off. From space, these look like brown patches in the middle of a green forest. Scientists were puzzled at first, but then they realized these areas were getting hotter. The ground was literally cooking the tree roots from below. Poisonous gases like carbon dioxide were also seeping out of the ground in these hot zones, pushing out the oxygen the roots need to survive. So these tree graveyards are another visual clue, a red line, if you will, showing exactly where the underground heat is most intense. So, we have the breathing ground, the heat maps showing hot spots, the earthquake swarms along fault lines, and even dying trees. All these pieces of information, collected by our amazing satellite eyes in the sky, help scientists build a complete picture of Yellowstone's hidden world. It's like being a detective, piecing together clues to understand a giant natural mystery. But does all this mean we're in danger? Not at all. In fact, all this monitoring makes Yellowstone one of the safest places to be, because we know so much about it. What's more likely than a super eruption are smaller events called hydrothermal explosions. This is when underground water flashes into steam with so much force that it blasts a crater in the ground. It's like a geyser, but much more powerful and unpredictable. By mapping the red lines of heat and ground weakness, scientists can identify which areas are at a higher risk for these kinds of steam explosions, helping the park keep visitors safe by guiding trails away from the most unstable ground. So, the red lines of crisis aren't a sign of doom. They are a scientific roadmap. They are the Earth's way of telling us, hey, I'm alive and active down here. And thanks to the incredible technology of satellites, we can listen to what it's saying from hundreds of miles away. It allows us to appreciate the immense power beneath our feet, while also ensuring we can safely enjoy the beauty on the surface. Yellowstone is a living, breathing laboratory, and we are lucky enough to have the tools to study it without disturbing its natural wonder. Next time you see a picture of Yellowstone, think about the incredible forces at play. Think about the giant magma chamber deep below, the ground gently rising and falling, and the scientists who are like guardians, watching over this magical place from Earth and from space. It's a reminder that our planet is full of powerful and amazing secrets, and we're just beginning to understand them. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive into Yellowstone's unseen world. It's a truly fascinating place, isn't it? If you enjoyed this adventure and learned something new, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you won't miss our next exploration. Stay curious, and see you in the next video.